I mean, the default position, of course, is that lying is bad, immoral. Politicians should be accountable and transparent. We get upset if they lie to us. That's at least the ideal position. The reality is that in virtually every culture, politicians bend the truth, shade the truth, are hypocrites, can be shown to lie. So that lying is not something that is extraneous to politics. So the question is, what functions does it fulfill? And when does it become dangerous? Not simply a black and white, it's bad, we have to get rid of it, or we have to live with it in a cynical way. So to answer the first part of that, when is it useful? Well, it helps us sometimes, and I could go through lots of other examples, helps us sometimes to build coalitions, to build cooperation. Democracy involves a kind of willingness to uh, be less rigid in one's beliefs, to build, and even one's interests, to build a kind of community that will gain power, because without power, nothing can be done. So the great example I give, and this was used as the frontispiece, a picture of the Alta Conference was used as the cover rather of my book when it was translated into Russian. The great example I give, the Yalta Conference, where Churchill, Roosevelt, and Stalin, in their effort to defeat Nazism and Japanese imperialism, lied about their common interests. They had a kind of policy of bracketing the fact that once the war was going to end, they would be at each other's throats. And this was, we might say, a tactical hypocrisy which helped to create a coalition that defeated fascism. And everybody knew it at the time. There was a kind of wink-wink about the reality of their alliance. And this happens in domestic politics as well. We have primaries in the United States where the different competitors scream at one another, calling each other the worst possible names, argue that each one is a demon. And then when the primaries select a winner, everybody gathers around and says, yes, this person is fabulous, the best choice. Everybody should vote for him or her. And what we get is a kind of clear sense of the way politicians have to shade the truth. Now, the second point I would make, it depends on the context and the quality and quantity of the lie. So there is a very interesting Greek notion of the pharmakon. It comes from Plato. It was revived by Jacques Derrida. The idea that a dose of poison can be a cure when it's small, but then can become deadly when it's too big. Lying, in other words, is not okay, at least understandable, in small doses. When it becomes the big lie, when it becomes a lie that creates a kind of total alternative world, then it becomes dangerous. What we're seeing in the United States now, and I perhaps would, if you tell me this is the case, see it in Modi's India, is there is a creation of a kind of audacious big lie. Trump argues he won the election. It was stolen from him in 2020. There is absolutely no evidence for this, and yet his believers seem to accept it. Trump has made incredible statements, I won't go through all of the lies, and is building a kind of alternate world for his MAGA followers. This is dangerous. So lying, one would have to look at specific cases. There are other instances that I argue relatively justifiable. But my point would be simply that we can never get to a position of absolute clarity, truthfulness, and authenticity. Politics is the realm of opinion rather than truth. It's the realm of rhetoric rather than science. It's the realm in which a certain bending of the truth, a certain, let's say, tactical hypocrisy is inevitable. And once we learn to understand that, we will get involved in politics without feeling immoral if we are involved in a politics that involves a certain amount, we might say, of healthy, if not duplicity, at least non-truthful opinion and narrative shaping.